What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This video will be slightly different from the previous videos you've seen in the past, because in this one I purchased one of those Monster Moto, Mega Moto, Motovox mini bikes that I'm sure most of you have heard of or have seen at one point. Yes, these are originally a children's toy, but the modifications on these things are absolutely endless. I plan on doing a lot to my bike in the future, so this is just the first rendering that you guys are viewing now. Ultimately, the goal here is to just have some side fun to do when you're not wrenching on the cars, just something that's headache free. I am slightly overweight for these bikes for the factory options that they come with. The main reason behind that is the 80 or 100cc engine that they come with from the factory. So in this video, I will be fixing at least that much. My brother and a couple of my close friends also have these things heavily modified and they ride them around quite often. So I figured it was finally my go at trying to make one. And the process was fairly simple, so I hope you guys enjoy the build process. Let's go ahead and get to it. So we got a couple of bikes here. This is my bike here. I've already done a couple of things on it, but for the main part, it's still the stock 80. We definitely need to change something. This is her bike here. We actually took the time to paint all the plastics, and I think it turned out pretty cool for the bike itself, but she actually did have the 100cc compared to the 80, and she's well within the weight limit, so she doesn't have a problem with power whatsoever. We're probably going to keep her bike the way it is for right now. My bike, on the other hand, is extremely slow with me on it. I've been prepping this engine on the side. This is a Built 212. It has a billet flywheel, a billet connecting rod, a billet 292 camshaft, a forged crankshaft, titanium valves, and dual valve springs. It's got a Mikuni style carburetor, so we're changing over the throttle cable, but for the most part, this should work just fine on my bike. So that's what we're gonna do. I did make this ugly little pipe here for the 80, and it also works on the 100, so I think we're gonna go ahead and put that on her bike. Her bike just has the lawnmower muffler still, so we're gonna take that off and put that pipe on there since I'm not gonna need it. The flanges are different on the 212, and this one comes with a pipe anyway. I'm gonna start by taking my engine off of my bike and see how close we are and see where we need to cut, weld, drill, whatever we got to do to get that to fit on. I also have this random fuel cell that I'm probably going to end up putting on the bike somewhere around here. I plan on getting a new seat in the future anyway, so I may end up cutting up the front half of it just to fit this here. Okay, I did get the engine on the bike mounted, but I did bring it down to the shop today because I had to cut a few places out of the frame. For one, the exhaust, and for two, I cut about 3 spots out of the frame to fit the carb. So today we're gonna be welding up some scrap metal and try to reinforce the structural integrity of this frame. I will tell you, I will warn you from the beginning that this probably isn't gonna be the most pretty job, but I just wanna add something here and here just to give it a little more structure. I am around 50 pounds over the weight limit for this bike, so I want to go ahead and take every precaution I can. Okay, I did cut and re-weld the exhaust here, and I had a hell of a time because it is a stainless pipe, but this is how it's going to sit right off of the back tire here. I really like the way that that's sitting, but I got a piece of metal down here. I kind of notched the top out. I'm going to notch the bottom and get that to sit in there a little better. Like I said, this is not going to be a pretty job by any means, but I just wanted to show you really quick the metal that I notched out top and bottom. So I'm just going to send a bead here and send a bead here, and that should be good for this top section. believe I made all these welds over here, didn't even turn the gas on? Was on, but the fucking argon level that it should have been. So I had to re-weld it all.
Yeah, this thing's gonna be a ripper.
Pretty soon, pretty soon. Look at that, cut it so good I don't even gotta weld it, just sits in place. Alright, we're back home with the bike now, so it's time to go ahead and throw it back together. Like I said, this wasn't gonna be pretty here. This is just supposed to be some structural. Added in this little 45 here, and then just this really ugly piece of 1/4 inch that I just gobbed onto here. So that's nice and ugly, but I promise you that is strong and it's gonna work. But I was able to once again gob a little angle here, that way my exhaust pipe can run right through here. But I think before I start reassembling, I'm gonna try to spray this down and clean it off, and maybe put like a dusting of black on it, just because it is bare metal. I sprayed down the frame with brake clean and cleaned it off, and then I went ahead and gave it a quick dusting of flat black just to cover the bare metal up. This is all going to be temporary anyway. I do plan on going with a swing arm in the back. Once all that's all together, the bike will get disassembled once again, and I plan on grinding down some of the ugliness and painting the entire frame white. Alright, so we got the bike fully back together here. I took it on its first pass, and definitely satisfied with the improvements of the bike for sure. I will have to put my new clutch on because this one that came on the engine is pretty worn out. And I still have to play around with the carb tuning so that it'll idle properly. My brother actually came over with his bike, so we're gonna prep them all and then go for a little cruise. His bike also has a Hemi 212 on it with a few other upgrades as well, but he has the Motovox frame, so it's a little bit different style than mine. These bikes are an absolute blast to tinker with, and I know I'll be uploading more videos to come in the future as time goes on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the build. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys have one of these bikes yourself, I strongly recommend doing some modifications with them. Other than that, we'll see you in the next video.
Get that bag, get through.
Father told me to repent, I had to